There are some downsides to traveling with pets. I won't claim to be an expert, and these are only my opinions, which others may disagree with. They can make it difficult at times, but I wouldn't change it because they make it fun and interesting. So, here in no particular order.
Got both cats hiding in the back, which is rare. Usually Vinny's on my lap super quick. But since I got the pets, you know, if I'm there's Vinny. I don't know if he got into view. Hi, buddy. You're fine. But I am going to do a video to show the considerations slash downsides of having a pet when you're RVing. And hopefully that'll help a few people out, the things I've learned. Fall and spring are always awesome because you don't have to worry about power as much for heating and cooling. Downside of traveling with pets. I don't know what number it's going to be. We'll say 1. But right here. This cat has to be on my lap. The other cat usually travels in up by the coffee pot. So, as many pet owners know, their animals don't handle being in a cage very well. Well, that's something you got to deal with, you know. And some other pet owners really don't like the idea of letting their animals run free in the RV. And I understand that too. It's just for me. Get on up there, Keek. Me, I can't take the crying. I put either of them in a crate and it's just constant crying. And I can't handle it. So I got to do my best to be careful and not let them get hurt. Cat's in place. Vinny's on the cooler. See how long that lasts. Have a good time. Lots of people come hang out at this park. There you go, Vin. Come on, get where you gotta be. Come on. Get comfortable. And he doesn't always put his feet where I would like him to. Do test runs with your pets. See if you find out that it's an animal that gets car sick, motion sick, or cannot tolerate being cooped up in the box, you know. These guys won't do it. They just won't. They'll scream and cry, and you would think they're being murderized. So then you have to deal with, you know, knowing that in case of an accident, your pets are at risk. I don't know how you balance that decision. For me, it was just, there was going to be an accident because I was losing my mind having them in carriers. So, and you might get one like this guy where I know he likes me, but he's on my lap because he's nervous in the car and they feel safe. You might find one that wants to do that. Most of the time it's okay. Sometimes it gets old. You know, I did that 2,900 mile trip from Ohio to Key West and back. He was on my lap for all but like a mile of it. Like the whole way. That gets old. Trust me, that gets old. But that's an issue right there, just traveling with them physically in a moving vehicle. And you have to know your pet, you know. If you can train them to be in a crate, that's awesome. It'll make your life easier and safer if something were to happen. But for many people, that's just not an option. Some pets just won't allow it. They make harnesses and seatbelt things, you know. If you can get that to work for you, that's awesome too. But for me, this seems to work. But that's one of the downsides of RVing with pets, just moving with them. And probably the biggest thing about pets in the RV is, to me, in my opinion, it makes it very difficult to boondock. I tend to choose campgrounds over it just so I have constant electricity when it's hot to keep them cool. You can run fans, you can do all that stuff, but to me, that's a risk I'm not willing to take. And if you're going to run your generator, you're going to use a lot of gas to run your generator. If it's cold like this, I would have used a lot of propane to keep it warm. They would do better in when it's cold than when it's hot, but I might be a little overprotective, so maybe I'm not the best advice. But I think it's important, if you're taking your pets with you, that you really have to keep in mind keeping them safe. And to me, for the most part, unless it's spring and fall, I've chosen to use campgrounds to have electricity for most of my trips. I just think it's the right way to go. It can be done. When I was in Key West, I had a couple days off of power and did well, ran the generator, but I was on the beach. It wasn't extra hot those days. Ran the generator a little bit to run the AC and had a good breeze going. But it's not something I would want to do often. And when I did it, I didn't go far from the RV. I explored close and came and checked on them a lot during the day. And then once I got electricity, then I went exploring. So that's just something to keep in mind. There are times, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't go get more pets, and there are times that it would be more fun without the pets. You know, if it's hot somewhere, you can boondock because you're out and about. You don't have to keep everything cool while you're not in here. But when you got animals like that one right there, you know, you're responsible. You got to do the right thing. So to me, lack of being able to boondock is probably the biggest downside of having pets.
Sometimes you just need to separate the animals, and in this RV, like most RVs, you have walls that you can partition. Those are my closet doors. I can open them up and then expand them out and separate areas. So if they're driving me crazy at night, I can close that back bedroom area off. If I need to separate each of them because they're just getting after each other, I can do that with these walls. But with that's going to come a downside, because whenever an animal has a place it's not allowed to go, that's where it wants to be more than anything. And something else you'll notice when you have more than one pet, they got a buddy to hang out with. Someone to watch over them when there's danger. And some just to chill out together. Maybe spend a day at the beach. But this is what you get when they won't go on a leash and they won't do a collar. You end up finding yourself buying things like this just because you're trying to keep your pets happy. It is a strange existence.
Here we go. He's a little nervous this time, I think, because the shade we're on goes to the water. There you go, Vin. Don't claw it, buddy. Not me scared of. Key West, guys, relax. You guys are fine. Yes, the doors are all open. The back door's open. A cooler breeze for once. Look, guys, looky there. Keek. I know there's people down there. They're putting an RV in. What's the matter? What's the matter? Vinny. Huh? You're almost outside, as close as you're gonna get. You won't wear a collar. Vinny's like, what? He backs up into that net, he doesn't know what's going on. Who's touching me? Stop touching me. No, it's all good. This is almost inconceivable. I guess in their fear they have companionship. It's normally not real fond of each other. Fair weather friends.
Oh, I'm seeing trouble. Vinny, get down. Get down. Leave her alone. It's another thing you got to deal with pets. Come on, Vin. I was on my way out. Here. Eat some food. I'll be back. Don't act like you haven't been in here before. You're good. It's warm. Leave her alone. All right, Keek? Yeah. That's what you deal with pets, isn't it? Attitude. Attitude. Play nice with others, Vinny. No. No. All right. You behave. He ain't gonna behave. Behave. And the things that will happen with cats, downsides of pets. They will drive you bonkers sometimes. Bat crap crazy. Whatever expletive you want to use. He just got done doing that. It took a lot of patience. Her, not so much. But they will get on your nerves sometimes. And they get into everything. And you need to stay away from the heater. There you go. Go ahead and eat. And they will make a mess. This cat must take food out of the bowl and drop it all over the place. And then he will chase it like it's alive and make a mess. If you have cats, downside, you have litter box, or at least one. I have one there, and I have one up there. I'm hoping to get it to one. I dump it right away, so the advantage of a cat is you can be gone for a little bit longer and they go to the bathroom. If you have a dog, you have to keep in mind that they got to do their business. So there's that. Tough time with RVs and pets is when it's time to cook. We got one cat there, we got one cat there. You always got to keep them out of your business. 2 cats in a Class B is not an easy thing. More on the downsides of pets. Something I forgot to mention. They would drive me so crazy. I was gonna sit down and calmly do a video about the downsides of pets, and I did pieces parts because they were driving me nuts. One thing to keep in mind, and this is just for people that have never traveled with pets or RV'd with pets. Many campgrounds you go to are not going to let you have more than 2 pets if you declare them. And if they find out you didn't declare them, then they can be all painted about it. So there are many campgrounds that limit the number of pets you can have. There are many places that require shot records and stuff like that. It's happened to me. I'm like, shot record? I don't have any shot records. What are you talking about? And then you just play nice and try to sweet talk them a little bit. But there are places that want them. Like if you go to Canada, I've gone up there with them and they're supposed to check it at the border, but they didn't. But you know, the first time I would go up without a clean vet checkup, they'd probably give me a hard time because I guess you're supposed to, has to be within 6 months or something like that. A recent good bill of health from a vet checkup. Check into the particulars if you're planning to go to Canada, or if you're going to Alaska through Canada, there's a good chance they'll check pet records. So there's that. Like I said, some places only allow 2 pets and some places check records. And also, if you have dogs and they bark, campgrounds will kick you out if you can't stop the dog from barking. So keep that in mind. Campgrounds can be very tough on pet owners at times. There are places that, you know, if you're walking your dog and they sneak one out on you and you didn't clean up after them, they can figure it out. And I mean, there are places that are very particular about it. So that's the other downside. You can sometimes have a harder time finding campgrounds. Not often, but sometimes, from what I've been told. I've never run into it myself, but I've heard other people say that you can run into that problem. One thing is pets, dogs and cats both, they get sick. It's not their fault. It happens. They make messes. It's not their fault. It happens. So you're going to have to clean it. That's why a lot of people now, everybody loves to get non-carpeting, and if you get an older RV, you remove the carpeting. What I did for mine is I just put this foam pad over everything, so it makes cleanup of cat hair and stuff like that easier, and if they get sick, it makes that easier as well. I sometimes even will put a shower curtain over the top of the bed. I've only had the cat get sick on the bed, I think twice since I've had it, and so you got to carry extra stuff for it. So that's a downside. Your animals will get sick and they will make a mess. So the tough part in dealing with is not only do you have to deal with them, they have to deal with each other. And that can get a little bit old. They don't always like it. This guy here, you got to start stuff, and everything makes you angry. That's why you got that face. But you have to deal with yourself dealing with your pets, and if you have multiple, with them dealing with each other. Normally, a good idea is if you're just getting ready to get started, take some short trips, even take them out if your RV's in your driveway. Take them out there and get them accustomed to being in there, get them used to it, and see how they do. Take short little drives just around the neighborhood. If you're planning on getting an RV and your animals don't travel in your car very much, go out with them and just drive around in the car and see how they'll do. You'll learn a lot about how they're going to manage. They'll all find a spot usually, and if you got two, then there's rivalries and jealous and all that happy stuff. So that's a downside. Normally, the lucky part about cats is they sleep most of the day, so they don't fight too much when I'm gone because they're, just sleeping. But then you have to deal with a cat. When you get back, they won't leave you alone half the time. But they settle in. These two, I'm pretty lucky that these two do very well traveling. But that's something to keep in mind, how they're going to get accustomed to the spot, to the RV. Some animals don't like it, and you got to try to prepare yourself for that if you're going to have pets. Now Kiki's over there, getting ready to jump down, because Vinny's over there, took her spot. It's 4:30 in the morning, and he's decided that he needs to whine and drive me crazy. This one here, she must have gone underneath, so he's got to go mess with her. She'll come flying out. Litter boxes will get used, and having pets, especially cats. There, see, he chased her out from underneath. So be advised, YouTubers, if you have pets, they might not want you to sleep. He's in a litter box now, so that's a whole production. If I wasn't already asleep, he'd wake me up with that noise. Geek. See? Hear that noise? It's because he's done. If I wasn't asleep, he'd have woke me up with that. And he won't stop. I have to get up now because he won't stop. Drive me insane. There are times, if you RV with pets, there will be times you regret it. For me, these are those times. That one's tearing the RV down, trying to cover his crap. So I gotta get up. Oh, daylight comes and you guys are all tired. Duck it out, aren't you? Like everything, there's downsides. But the upside is, if you have pets, more than you expected, different kinds than you expected maybe, you never foresaw, they're your buddies. People call them family. You will have to consider their well-being numerous times. You're driving somewhere and decide you want to stop on the side of the road to go to a restaurant, to take a quick tour of something, wander a city for a little bit. What are you going to do with the animal? You know, what if it's hot? It makes it difficult. It changes the way you travel in some cases. So that's something to keep in mind. But that's my ideas on traveling with pets. Sometimes it literally drives me nuts. But I got 2 cats and that's the way it's gonna be. Ain't nothing I'm gonna do about it now.